Francesco Rizzuto. He's a professor of European law at Edge Hill University. Thanks so much for being with us. You know, we just heard Sarah talk about a little bit of what's to happen logistically and otherwise, but tell us how you think the country is actually feeling. Has the UK now genuinely come to terms with having left the European Union?
Well, I think most people have come to terms with that fact. Of course, from tomorrow, fact becomes reality, if you like, if that makes sense to you. Obviously, many people who didn't want to leave the European Union are still having difficulties. But if you like, from midnight tonight, being outside the European Union will really hit home those who trade or travel with the European Union.
Okay, tell us how, though. I mean, really tangibly, what will people feel has changed?
What will people feel has changed? Well, if you are trading with the European Union, you will have lots of customs forms to fill in. If you want to travel to the European Union, you will need a visa for 90 days, for example, out of 180. If you want to take your pet across, you will not be able to. You may, for example, if you travel abroad in Europe and the rest of Europe, you may, for example, be charged roaming charges, in other words, for your telephone. So it's the banalities of life change, if I can put it in those terms. Now, most people who don't travel abroad won't feel it as much, but for most people who do, they will. And of course, let's not be mistaken. Prices will increase a little bit. Somebody's going to have to offset the costs of customs forms, delays, and so on. So there will be those changes because we mustn't forget, this is a divorce. This is about setting up barriers, not getting rid of barriers.
You know, you mentioned, though, the banalities of life. So if we're talking about the tangibles that people are going to feel, when you say, like, we'll need visas now to travel back and forth between the UK and the EU, does this really mean that Britons are going to have to sit in those sometimes hours-long lines at immigration if they fly to the European Union? Or are they looking at eventually getting a deal for, you know, for example, like Switzerland has with the EU, where they will still be able to wait in those quick lines, and it will be relatively easy? Or no? Are they now going to be just like any other traveler from anywhere in the world?
They're going to be like any other traveler anywhere in the world. The Swiss have free movement rights, so there aren't problems when you're traveling in and out of Switzerland from the UK or elsewhere in the European Union. No, Britain really has distanced itself, and I think this will come home to people. For example, many British people go on holiday to Spain. Well, it's not going to be so quick, so easy, so seamless to be a tourist anymore. It'll be almost imperceptible. Initially, if you like, television screens will be full of the images that you're showing, of lorries, delays. If you like, those little things that we'd lost the habit of, having to wait, having to queue, having to show your documents, having to make sure that when you travel abroad, you have your travel insurance with you. You didn't have to. So in all sorts of ways, I think that if you like, bureaucracy, filling in forms, having to show that you are who you say you are and that you have rights to do certain things that we took for granted for nearly 40, 45, 50 years, those will change, I think. For many people. But of course, I think the real impact will be political, domestically, because the chances are that if the Scots vote for the National Party, then there will be moves for Scotland to break away from the United Kingdom. There is already a border between the island of Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom. So it's a momentous change, I think, for many people. It won't be just an abstract thing for academics, lawyers, and business people.
Right, but it will come incrementally. Okay, thank you so much, Francesco, for joining us. We really appreciate it.